Hello and welcome to the Swarm Report, Episode 1, Day 1 of many, many more ahead of us. My name's Hudah. I'm joined here by Randy Wassinger, the founder of CryptoSlam, and over the next many months, we'll be bringing you daily updates on the AI market, including agents and infra and compute and DAOs and headlines. You know the deal, guys. Welcome to the show. And Randy, welcome to the show, man. Good to see you.
What's up, Hudah? Good job getting this all set up. Looks slick. I love it.
Dude, I have a lot of fun with this stuff, so it's a treat to get to do another show, add another to the catalog, to do one with you, which, okay, I think we're actually doing this together. I think I have like a new co-host, a new partner for something I think we're both really passionate about, which is AI, so I'm extra excited, man.
Yeah, certainly from time to time. It's always fun to talk about things that you're passionate about and that you feel like, you can add some value. So AI is hot right now. We've had a very good, when did this start even? Like when we'll get into that in a bit, I'm sure. We started a long time ago, actually, but it certainly ramped back up, mid to early November. And so it's been a fun few months.
There was a moment, and not to get too far ahead, but there was a moment where something happened, something changed, and we're off to the races. All of a sudden, everything changed. This is the part, again, spoiler, I'll talk about this in a bit, but I feel like something like that's about to happen again. It just feels like we're ripe, and it feels like the way we see innovation and how fast it's happening in AI, it feels like something's going to come out of nowhere. Again, we'll get to that stuff. Let me throw up our socials real quick where you guys can catch us to watch the stream. You can catch us on the SlamX official YouTube account. Are we going to rebrand that? I don't know. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. I don't know.
I would say likely, given like this renewed focus on AI. Like I would expect a change there.
There we go.
Yeah, Kool-Aid great for now.
Yep. Okay, perfect. Kool-Aid, thank you for that. Yeah, guys, smash the like. I'll throw up a poll at some point during the show. But again, you can catch us over there, SlamX Official on YouTube. Of course, make sure you're following SlamAI_XYZ on X. And the brand new ish, the Swarm_AI. Now, we will definitely be streaming here. You could almost consider this home base for this show. So absolutely make sure you're following this account here. Man, let's get into it. And okay, I want to set the stage. It's a little bit like why we're doing this. It's really important. Now, you guys watching, if you're watching, I think you know why. I think you know what's coming. You sense the change. You felt already a little taste of how big it can get. And I think we all believe it's going to get a lot bigger. I got a really cool clip that I think sums up that why. Randy, here's an echo alert. I'm going to play this clip, and it's really, really telling.
I think we're going to live in a world where there are going to be hundreds of millions of billions of different AI agents, eventually probably more AI agents than there are people in the world. A lot of what we're focused on is giving every creator and every small business the ability to create AI agents for themselves, making it so that every person on our platforms can create their own AI agents that they want to interact with. And if you think about it, these are just huge spaces, right? So there are hundreds of millions of small businesses in the world. And one of the things that I think is really important is basically making it so with a relatively small amount of work, a business can basically, a few taps, stand up an AI agent for themselves that can do customer support, sales, communicate with all their people, all their customers. I think that every business in the future, just like they have an email address and a website and a social media presence today, I think every business is going to have an AI agent that their customers can talk to in the future. I think we're going to live.
It's pretty telling. Again, I think we've all felt it. I think we're all going to have agents. I have one already. Again, they'll be absolutely everywhere. And then an interesting little tidbit from today, but we learned that Elon Musk look, we know they're into AI. They have Grok. And I think they're going the next level deeper here. They've been talking, it was reported just today, with the Virtuals team. And I think Saigar himself was meeting with people from X. So they very specifically are looking to get into this AI agent ecosystem, the agentic ecosystem, somehow, some way. It's unavoidable. It's coming. I'm here for it, man. Randy, I got to imagine you agree with everything we heard from Zuckerberg there, right?
I do. But I would say what has me more excited and interested, I guess, than what he would have said would be the autonomous portion of this. So he said, yeah, the agents are going to do all of these different things for humans, but what about when they start thinking for themselves? What about when they've got like their own wallet and they're the only ones that know the private key, and they've got a little bit of crypto to work with, and they start talking to other agents and collaborating? I think that's what's got me more excited than just AI and agents and bots doing things for humans. So I think, and I think too, like that's why we've seen this, I don't know what hype cycle number one for AI agents in Web3. It's because of that.
It's a good way to put it. Yeah, I mean that's what it felt like was hype cycle number one of probably I think a bigger one to come, but at the very least, just more of those cycles to come.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, yeah. We have. Well, I want to be specific with it. There's a lot of building going on in the AI space in the Slam family, and guys, of course, we want to keep you updated on that stuff. So it's probably also good while we set up, why we think it's going to be so big, and other people who see it, setting this up with what we're doing in the space. And believe me, we're going to be at the forefront of this from here going forward. And a lot of people don't know, we have been building in AI for the past, let's say, year and a half or so, maybe more. You could say we're not new to the AI stuff. But yeah, Randy, maybe you could give a little overview on what's coming, what's been going on in this Slam ecosystem.
God, I love that logo.
It's so good.
The person on our team, I don't know if she wants me to say her name or not, but what's that?
Say her name.
Yeah, Jenny, like that does our graphics. Like, just I'd love this. The vibe we have going with SlamAI and our agents. She's just she's killing it. I don't, maybe what might be helpful, because I know we've likely got some people tuning in that maybe aren't as familiar with the overall AI landscape. So maybe I'll set up a couple things. I heard you mention virtuals a minute ago. So maybe like the state of where we're at 101, and then where SlamAI plugs in. So the state of where we're at, like Hudah mentioned virtuals. If, to use an analogy, and this is not apples to apples, but if you're just getting into this, think of virtuals as like the iOS of agentic platforms. So in mobile platforms, you have iOS and Android. So the juggernauts, at least at this point, that could change, are the iOS would be virtuals, and the Android, the more open source, would be the ELIZA platform that's being built by the team, and it's decentralized at this point behind AI 16Z. So you've got like these two huge players that are building platforms. There's others, but these are clearly the leaders that are allowing platforms for creators to come in and build cool shit. Where do we fit in? So where we fit in, think of us in that same analogy as like, and again, this isn't perfect, but we're going to be like, I don't know, like the Comcast, like the broadband, like the data pipeline that feeds all of these agents. Like that's us. That's SlamAI. Because these agents need, they need a couple things. Number one, they need everything that OpenAI is doing that is being done with the more open source Llama, like all of the cool AI stuff. Clearly they need that. Now we have DeepSeek. So they need that. But for agents to truly thrive and to do especially Web3 agents, to thrive and to do all the things they're promised to do, they need data. And not just data they were trained on. Like the GPT 4.0 model, I think, was from August of 2024. So it's a snapshot of what it knew at that point. It's not going to know anything new unless it can go retrieve that. And even then, what it was trained on, it's nothing sure, it knows like blockchain data, but it doesn't know the types of, or not the types, but the breadth of data that someone like us in the Web3 data space has. So our job in Slam AI, and we can describe the difference between CryptoSlam and Slam AI in a minute, but our job through Slam AI is to make the CryptoSlam data, which we feel and know is quite valuable, easily and instantly accessible to developers, humans, and this is where it gets really fun, other AI agents.
I'm throwing this on the screen too, just so people have, I don't know, like a reference point. But we're talking about data. People do know CryptoSlam, but they know CryptoSlam for NFT data. And it was really, dude, I love seeing you on Coffee with Captain this morning. Those guys are awesome. I've been a fan of them for a long time. But they're probably in that crowd of people who know CryptoSlam, again, NFT data, and didn't realize that it's everything on chain. It's everything. And even if it's not here, I think I heard you say on the back end, it's there. It's all of it. And that's the kind of data that these agents need. To your point, these snapshots. We're excited about agents that are going to be trading, right? I am. I know people who are trading off of certain agents' data right now, but most of them, in fact, I think probably all of them are running off of, like you said, data that maybe at this point is months old, and some of them maybe a year old, maybe longer. Comprehensive data that's live, I think, is a game changer. And I know it's a game changer. And so that's just to give a little context for people watching what the data actually is and how much it matters for it to be live. So there is a little sneak peek at the data that is behind the scenes, some of it, but again, much more than NFT data.
Yeah, like CryptoSlam's clearly, if you're not familiar, we were the first. I was so lucky with how early we got in. The first, and would still like to think the leading NFT data aggregator from a multi-chain perspective, and that's been great. But clearly, NFTs have been our specialty from the beginning. But I say that, but like, why CryptoSlam works and why it was, why we were able to build up the following and why it was super useful. It wasn't just showing data. Like, what does data even mean? Like, that can be 50 million different things. Like, what data means. Well, what we do is we're really, really good at aggregations. So it may sound nerdy, but it's really important. Like, where do you go? Like, if you want to know what was the NFT volume like across the entire planet over the last 24 hours or over the last hour, all time, 7 days, like these types of aggregations, where do you go for that? Like, you can't put that into ChatGPT and have it compute, and you can't go query like an Etherscan API or even an OpenSea API. You can't do that.
I'll tell you what. I do this almost on a daily basis. I do go to ChatGPT. I write a lot about NFT data and crypto markets, and I do go to ChatGPT almost every day, and I try. I'm waiting to see if and when it's ever updated where it can tap into live data. We get all these updates from ChatGPT that, hey, it can now search the web. So I'm like, hey, what was the top 5 NFT collections today? What was whatever? It can't do it. I don't know if it'll ever do it, but I know right now it can't.
Yeah, well, it certainly is not going to compute it on its own. So can it retrieve it from a place like CryptoSlam? Sure. But to actually come up with those numbers in the first place, you need data aggregation specialists. And that's CryptoSlam. From an NFT perspective, you had Base Vision up there. Base, if you look at that, and the data on this thing is a hell of a lot farther along than the UX is. The UX, it's come a long ways, but it's clearly not the end product. But the obsessive, complete coverage that we always envisioned for aggregations across an entire blockchain, it's on these SlamVision domains that we have indexed. So why does that matter? Well, that matters if you are an AI agent and you're looking to do trading, or you want to know smart wallets, or you want to know a specific wallet, or you want to do trend analysis. The sky is the limit with what these agents might want to know. Some of that you could probably get from a base scan API, but the really, really good stuff, what we like to call siloed stuff, you can't. So to be truly smart, and you'll see that like in our tagline, SlamAI, the smartest damn agents in Web3. This is why. It's that is siloed. You can't get that anywhere else. The agents need it. That's base chain, which is clearly huge and a big part of Web3 right now. But there's a lot of other chains besides base, and we've either got them already or we will have them indexed soon. So we got Ethereum, we've got Ape, the new one from Open Campus, EDU, Sonium, like all these. We've got like a handful of them. All of those are accessible to developers through SlamAI, or it will be coming up. Or what I see on the screen now, you've got like this agent. That guy, actually, I say that guy. Technically, I don't think it's a guy or a.
Talking about this guy?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's like we don't know. When we were like coming up with it, it's like this agent is all about data and helping people out, and let's swarm. Other agents are going to come to this guy for the data that it needs.
So what is the story with the swarm? Like, set the stage with what the swarm is and how it fits into the SlamAI ecosystem. And I'm sure people want to hear about the Bull AI too. So what are the, yeah, right. So what is, the swarm is an agent?
The swarm is our next agent. Do you have the graphic from the intro? Do you have that handy?
Let me see.
Probably
I can
not.
get it handy. And in
That's what I
fact,
asked.
here, let me do this for a quick moment, just a little tease, and then I'm going to pull it up separately in a browser. But we're talking
Yeah,
about
there you go.
that. I love it. Beautiful. I'll find it to put in the browser in a quick second here.
I love that image because it does a really good job in one simple snapshot of saying, like, well, where we're at and where we're heading. The agent in the middle, you'll see, is the swarm, and that's the next one coming out. That'll be our flagship, main data agent. Not our first agent. The first agent would be the Bull, who many people I suspect that are tuning into this know quite well. So the Bull was, we actually launched him as an experiment. When did we launch that? It was what, mid-December maybe? And to Zuckerberg's point about how agents do things I can't remember what he said about taking on tasks for humans. The Bull did that remarkably, and it's still doing that right now. Did that remarkably well. So we launched an agent as an experiment who has his own token called Bull on X. And what he did, and this is basically all he did, he gave people on X the chance to earn some Bull from him by proving their worthiness by answering Web3 trivia questions. And these trivia questions weren't necessarily easy. Maybe some are, but many of them aren't. The proof being that this data is largely siloed. Like, we're the only ones that have it. We know people would take the Bull's question. Well, like, what you do is you would tweet, bag some Bull, mention a couple people, and then, he would eventually, if he was behaving, ask you a trivia question. So people would take that and like, all right, well, I'll just go put it into ChatGPT. ChatGPT knows everything, right? I don't know what the accuracy would have been, but I don't know, like maybe 1 to 20% of the time you might have got the right answer, maybe 10%. What do you think on that? What was the percentage?
I think probably 0, honestly, because I'm telling you, it's almost every day I try, and it not once has gotten me anything accurate or even told me it can do it. So I don't think it would get any of them right.
So yeah, so it's like challenging trivia questions that you have to know something about Web3. You had to have been around, perhaps, like the Bull like pulls from the archives, like, what were the Crypto Slam rankings for the for the Ethereum blockchain or the Polygon blockchain in March of 2023 or whatever it may be. Like, where are you going to find that? Like that is not in GPT 4.0, like or really anywhere else. And in fact, we don't even have that exposed on CryptoSlam. So when I say like CryptoSlam and SlamVision and those websites, like they do a great job of showcasing our data, but it's not everything. Like there's plenty behind the scenes that these agents are going to have access to. So anyway, the point is the bull, we would describe him as like an engagement agent, that we use to drive excitement for what we had coming up, to build community around his bull token. And initially the experiment was to run for, what was it? I think it's 30 days or 31 days, something like that. And it took off in the beginning. We learned a lot about X API, the do's, the don'ts, how do you optimize, how do you do with API limits, like that kind of stuff. So there's certainly some growing pains. And so that led into, were you the one that made that, by the way? Did you make this picture?
I did. I made that. I was going to say, you were explaining, kind of what his purpose was. Yeah, explain that.
Well, yeah. So a farming agent, and what did he have? Like 63,000 interactions on X, which is pretty impressive if you compare him to like the other agents out there. There are those like AIXPT for sure had more, but not a lot. Like this guy right here, I would say. Well, you tell me. What do you think your guess is, in terms of if somebody were to have like an engagement ranking since mid-December, where would the bull rank?
Way up there, as in if he were covered on, oh boy, I would bet top, and it's a pure guess, I would say easily top 25, and I would not be surprised to hear if he were top 10. I wouldn't be surprised to hear if he were top 5 even. He was very, very highly engaged with, and because, look, he had a token, it's what people were farming, but because you couldn't trade it, this was not captured, I don't believe, on cookie.fun yet. If it were, though, I really think it would have shocked people what that engagement or mindshare would have looked like, depending on how they measure it too, but it was way, way up there, and you could see, again, by the replies and the interactions, way up there.
Yeah, it's like, I would describe it as the most under-the-radar data or under-the-radar agent in Web3, because it wasn't trading. So if you knew the bull, you knew the bull really well, because this guy, has a spicy, I think that's the adjective you used to describe him,
well understood
personality,
yeah.
Which is a function of, us learning how to get pretty good at fine tuning models. Where was I going with that? I can't remember. So he had the person, or he still has the personality, had the engagement under the radar though. Yeah, because the token isn't trading. And I think there's a lot of people, again, what did the holder count get up to? And this was not airdrops, by the way. These are all people that earned it. It's like 1,100 people, 63,000 interactions, 1,100 holders. I don't know what the stats are, because not everybody could successfully bag bulls, but presumably, like most people interacted with this guy like dozens of times, if not more. Some people probably hundreds of times on X.
Yeah, I would say by any metric, I think he is a success. Again, all those numbers that were thrown out there for what he was designed for and what he achieved, I think blew away even our expectations. And it was just proof that what we're aiming for worked and will continue to work, because the future plans, I think, are just bigger and bolder. And now we have that proof that it actually does work. So very, very exciting about these next steps, which are what?
Yeah, so let's talk about why he's in jail right there. So here's what happened over the weekend, and this is, was it you? I think it was you. Like, never a dull moment in Web3, or I think we've heard that before. Well, we did not have a dull week with the bull, so none of this was surprising. To be clear, a couple things. Number one, the bull, you can chat with him in our Telegram group right now, and you can go he is right now allowing people who prove their worthiness to bag some bull from him. And that's a bull token on the base blockchain, available for nothing more than answering trivia questions right. So that's available in our Telegram group right now. And when did we launch that? Like maybe last Friday?
Right. About
Thursday,
there.
Friday?
Yep.
Yeah. So that we would say is his new home, because what happened on X was, I smile because it's not funny, but it kind of is. Have you ever seen, like, on X where these agents start talking to each other?
Oh,
I know you have, but like, so maybe I'm asking that to the world. Well, the bull got tagged with like 20 other agents in a Twitter thread. Well, he's programmed to go and respond and say, hey, your agent's awesome, or your agent sucks. You might want to bag some bull. He has all kinds of things in his personality that he's kind of hardwired to do. And it's always, and he's not the only one. Most of the agents are like this to reply. And we did a really good job, I guess, of, we're on the really good X API plan, which allows for a lot of interactions. And most agents aren't, you can tell, the ones that don't reply often. There's a reason for that. But ours was on the one that, you could reply a lot. So what happened was, like, he ended up like in this cascading, never ending, chain reaction, pardon the pun. I know you've got a podcast called Chain Reactor, but there's this chain reaction where these agents were just firing off at each other. And what it did was it confused our fine-tuned LLM while a lot of us were sleeping, over the weekend, like overnight. And what happened was he kept repeating himself, like firing hard and like all kinds of garbage. We had like foreseen when, he would get into threads with other agents, maybe 2 or 3, and we were able to code around that, but we hadn't, for better or worse, and we hadn't necessarily factored in, well, what happens if somebody tags in with 20 agents with with plenty of bandwidth to fire off? So what happened was he did lots of duplicate posts, like a lot, like hundreds, in rapid succession for a long period of time, or an extended period of time, which is against the X's automated API rules. And the bull got put in jail, and he's no longer allowed to post on X. So that's kind of the bad news. There is an awesome silver lining behind all this for anybody that has worked with him to bag bull, which I guess we can get to in a second. But we can't not address the monkey in the room with what happened to that guy.
Must. And it might have been maybe partially from that. Yeah, no, it was a tweet storm. Do you remember any of the agents he was talking to?
I don't. I think AI XBT was in the mix. I can't remember. Like Hudah, I don't know if you like. It was just garbage. It was not. I even can't remember who I was telling, but I don't. Everybody's like, oh yeah, X sucks, and X shouldn't ban. And honestly, if I'm X and I wouldn't want that either. I almost wonder too with agents now, like, and you see, even there are clearly, we should get into this at some point beyond, our agents. There you go. Like, yeah, well, God and Satan weren't. I remember that.
Well, I got to say, there's something really interesting with that. Okay, those agents, it's not specifically about them, but the guy who created those agents is in some trouble himself with a token that is kind of linked to these two. And if we have time, I'll get to that today. But it's safe to say all of these agents, it's a little like, man, there's a lot of gray here. All the agents on X are going to face similar things. I mean, at some point I've said, man, there's a black swan event maybe waiting to happen. You never know with these agents that are tweeting and if they go off the rails together or if rules change. And so this is not a unique situation. What's that?
I could just see rules changing, because I don't know what your feed looks like, but if you start to follow them, I don't know. I eat this up. Like I really enjoy it. Like the cookie fun agent. What does it do? Like it'll tweet out insights from the virtuals and Solana and other ecosystems for agents. So that's the DAO, but they've got an agent too agent cookie fund. So it'll tweet out and it'll often mention, other agents, and they're gonna, they're hardwired to reply. And you kind of look at that and I don't know, is this really what Elon is hoping for on his platform? It's not that big of a deal now, but what about during the next wave when, there's not just hundreds or thousands of these agents, there's like tens of thousands,
I mean, the man just got done this push to eliminate bots from X, right? This is a little evolution of it, but I mean, it's something I think about. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think if it's good bots, for sure, and I would actually, despite the things that the bull clearly did wrong, he actually did a hell of a lot right that other bots weren't doing. So anyway, where were we going with that?
Well, I think maybe this even here helps tie, kind of next phase back to the Swarm AI, which is, I'm looking at this cookie post here, and there's a whole bunch of cookie agents here, it looks like, and they're all actually informing this top level agent. This looks to me like maybe the start of a swarm, if I'm looking at that the right way, which I think is super interesting because agent cookie conferring with agent Chookie and Zookie and Cookie and their collective intelligence they're using to respond. And I see that and I'm instantly going, hey,
it's a swarm.
Yeah. Yeah, which then it's like you think, okay, well, the bull, he had his purpose and still does to a degree, but now the bigger purpose is starting to get revealed, and we're looking at it right here.
And we've been heading this way. I'd like to say all along, certainly from early on, it was definitely multiple agents, and you would have seen that in the picture if you've happened to stumble across the light paper yet, which we can maybe get into on a future episode. Like it's all of these have their purpose. So think of bull as an engagement agent, and the swarm is that you'll see that in the X bio there, the agent that other agents and humans need for data. So that is our next agent. It's our flagship agent. It's coming up imminently. He's got his own X account now. We should address bull token holders. This is very, very, very important, which I want to be clear on. If you own bull token as of some sort of snapshot date that has not occurred yet, so we've not taken any sort of snapshot yet. So if you are a holder of bull token, you will get airdropped swarm token 1-to-1. So bull equals swarm. Don't think that SlamAI would leave you hanging for, no, not absolutely not at all. The bull helped us build this community. We love it. We're starting to coalesce in that Telegram group now. So every bull holder as of an upcoming snapshot date will have airdrop swarm.
That's
and in fact, like we envision like the bull continuing his thing at least for a while to help bring new people into swarm ecosystem.
Yep. Look, and I'm like, dude, I'm a degen. I'm like you guys. I will look. It doesn't mean this will happen, but I want to see him resurrected, and I will always say that in meetings and say, look, we really should bring him back to life. We really should revive him, bring him, resurrect the guy, and you never know. But here and now, the swarm, dude, I'm excited for that. Really, really, truly am. Do we have any dates, any next steps, anything that we want people to have on their radar for now?
That's a really good question. Soon, and I think I've been on your shows before where I say soon, and then it maybe doesn't seem all that soon, just because, a lot happens in Web3, like imminent. How about that? I'll use a new word. It is imminent that this is, like, you'll even see like the contract address in the bio there. It says coming soon. Yep. Expect this imminently.
I mean, that is the best part of having built a community now over the, years at this point, and having the daily content. When we say soon, look, people know who we are, and you can reach us. We will always communicate those updates to you. I hope we've earned your trust and keep you updated as best we can with those updates and changes and whatnot. So soon is soon, and I'll keep you updated. I know Randy will be right here on this show as often as he can to also keep us updated. But I'm like you guys. I'm more on the DGen side and looking forward to all this too.
Yeah, and I think
Aaron,
we should mention Hudah too. Like this is important. Even the Bull's been talking about this for a while, about the fact that the Bull isn't tradable. We have no plans for Bull to be tradable. No plans for Bull to be tradable. If that happens at some point, like I don't know why necessarily we would push that. But certainly with Swarm, it will be. And it'll be tradable like out of the box. So I don't have specifics on that, but it's time for us to all of this to not be under the radar. And we've got a great new way to launch a token with engagement. Like stay tuned on that. There's some sneak peeks in the light paper with what we have planned. But to be clear, Swarm is coming out. I saw, yes, it's on base chain. Airdrop 1-to-1 with Bull, and it'll be tradable when you have it.
Man, super dig it. Okay, any other updates that you want to pass on here now? Ecosystem, local news, updates like that?
No, I think we need to give people some news because this is not meant to be just. Yeah, I think it was good to talk about like what we have going on, but certainly we want to, help inform listeners about like everything else going on.
Yeah. So, and as far as expectations, guys, I can't remember if I said earlier, but this will typically be, I think, a 30-minute show. Again, it is daily, except for tomorrow. I mean, yeah, funny way to start, but tomorrow I can't make it. But next week, Monday through Friday, it'll be the same time. And look, days that get really wild, and they happen often. So especially as this cycle, we get deeper into it, the show will be as long as it needs to be. So aiming for 30, if it goes an hour and 2 hours some days, then that's what it's going to be. I think you guys know from other shows kind of the style. But again, we'll cover local news, and usually most days it might be a shorter segment, and then market and those top stories. So to that point, why don't we peek at the market? No, actually, you know what? Before we get there, I do want to go back to the God and Satan agents who, again, were part of the problem with the Bull. And I love those two, by the way. I bought their token a long while back. In fact, this is one of my biggest fumbles is the person who made that token. His name is SlamAI, and he has a token called Nothing. And it's an interesting token. It's just the way he coded that ticker that you literally, there's nothing. You can't find it with a name or a ticker. And I think you can only really find it with the CA. So it's basically an invisible ticker. Again, the person who made it made the God AI agent, made the Satan AI agent. Now he has a Jesus one. It's all really, really interesting. It's a lot of fun. But he might have a little problem here from maybe accountants who can't do any kind of accounting on this ticker that they can't search, and none of their software to go kind of skim or scan the block. They can't find this thing. So it looks like he's facing a lawsuit right now about that ticker, which I think is incredible because it's really it's closer to an art token or an art project than it is a DGen thing. So, of course, it's a meme, and it does lean into AI, but it's just to show that this stuff is unpredictable, and it's a lot of fun, and it's very wild, and just expect to see more things like the Bull and like this story, and definitely going to keep us on our toes for the foreseeable future. Isn't that wild, though?
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. I just saw this last night. Doesn't mean anything will happen with it. In fact, I usually think a story like that is like kind of exciting, kind of bullish for a token, and it makes me want the token. I have none now. It makes me want it. So thought that was a cool update because we were just talking about those agents. Looking at the market here, and we'll use cookie.fun. It's a great site. I mean, they capture or track mindshare on X. We're looking at market caps there. And so we'll just briefly review that. Stands out to me right here is the total market cap of agents. You guys know I'm pretty much a perma bull, and I have pretty astronomical predictions. One of those is that this agentic ecosystem, the market cap, I think we're going to see this up in the 100 billion market cap range. I really do think we're a long way from it, and we've fallen a long way here in the past, let's say, week and a half. At our highest, I believe we got up to about an 18.5, maybe a 19 bill market cap, all the way down to 6.1. people are starting to call this I think like AI nuclear winter. It feels like that. Sentiment kind of feels like that out there. But I do have thoughts about where we're going. I definitely want to throw some stuff at you, Randy, because again, where it's going, I think matters a lot. If we're looking at mind share, it's a lot of the familiar faces as far as who do people still engage with, who are they talking to, and it's Fartcoin at the top here in the past 7 days. This is cross-chain, by the way. This looks like it's Solana base. Are we looking at Binance there too, maybe? But AIXBT, Henlover, it's the familiar faces, but shocking to me is looking at those market caps of those agents that we're used to seeing, virtuals in the 2, 3, 4 billion range. Fartcoin, I'm trying to remember at its peak, over 1 billion, let's say 1.5 billion, maybe it even touched 2. And then the lovable AIXBT at 223 mil. So things are definitely changing. I'll say this, guys. If you have concerns, worries, whatever, I mean, so be it. I think this is just this is one of those steps on that road to where we're getting to. And where we're getting to, I think, is this, like Zuckerberg was saying, like you see Elon Musk telegraphing, is a world-changing thing, world-changing tech. I got to ask you, Randy. Okay, I look at AI agents as like a UX upgrade for everything, like honestly everything, but crypto especially. How do you see this agentic ecosystem evolving now? Because it does seem like it's going to shift a little from just straight agents that just kind of chit chat with you on X to maybe something else. What do you see coming for all of this?
I know you've been around a while too, Huda. Like we've been through this before, where the hype exceeded the output. So that's what happened in January. I think it peaked maybe on New Year's Day, like right around January 1st was when all of this peaked, and it's been a slide since then. But I mean, think about it, like virtuals, like I described them as the iOS of AI agents. You cannot tell me, like the market cap of virtuals was peanuts on Halloween,
right?
Like absolute peanuts. I don't remember what it was, but it was not much. Like that much value just does not get created in a 2-month period. Like it maybe like mid October even. Like it started to go up by October 31st, but like mid-October, it's just absolute peanuts. So to go from that to like 4 billion or whatever it was, like no way. That's clear overpriced. What does it say for October?
So,
I had this looked up at one time.
Yeah, let me see if I'm reading this right. Let's see, around October. Oh yeah, I mean it was. Yeah, I'm gonna guess this is somewhere like a 100 mil or so, maybe 150.
Yeah, and I keep going back. Like it had probably doubled by that point.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it does show how quick it grew, and it was literally October when things. I mean, right around here, if you can see it, probably hard.
Yeah, and that liquidity pool looks like got created on October 22nd. The virtuals token had been around before that as well. So I bet that date that pool was created was probably when those that were super early were starting to see the writing on the wall.
It's Truth Terminal and Goat happened. Everyone's like, oh shit. They're like, it's go time. So, and that was it. In an instant, everything changed. Everything changed the second that happened. We get the, not copycats, but the inspiration, the inspired agents. We get Cerebro, and we get, AXBT wasn't far after that. It wasn't right at the beginning, but Cerebro was certainly one of those earlier,
Yeah, AIXBT was launched, I believe, on November 2nd.
Okay, so not long after, just a couple of weeks after Truth Terminal and Go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like to your question about something to keep in mind with not all of these certainly, but a lot of them, especially the ones on base, all of the agents that are making up that market cap number, the vast majority of them, especially on base, they're paired against the virtual token. So if the virtual token is having a rough day, the agent token is definitely going to have a rough day. And we've seen this in broader crypto, like when Bitcoin's not doing well, it has a cascading effect, but it's amplified with these agents. Like virtual for a lot of these has to be doing well, and it hasn't.
How do you feel about? I'm going to throw random stuff at you, by the way, because like believe it, we work together. I don't get to pick your brain on this stuff super often, but Andrew Steinwald, are you familiar?
I am. I've had the pleasure of speaking with him on occasion. It's been a while, but yes, I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
Zima Red.
that's it. Exactly that. Great show, great guy. We had him years ago on our a Crypto Slam podcast. Again, just awesome, awesome dude, and very insightful. And he's very early to things. He's got that vision.
Early,
And,
yes.
right, yes. And so I pay attention when he's talking. And while we see the AI agent, maybe let's say the market caps and the token values dropping, he's talking about the thing that I think is important. People are look at, pay attention to, maybe where the high valuations start coming. He's talking about like GPU, decentralized GPU tokens that represent that. And I'm thinking about that, but I'm also thinking infrastructure in general is like a really, really interesting play. And there's not a lot of those plays out there that I see. If you were to make a bet on maybe one sector of AI agents or compute or, investing in the debt, what part excites you the most right now? And where do you see the most opportunity?
That was a softball, Huda.
Maybe.
That was like data for AI agents.
Yeah.
SlamAI, like that. Like everything needs data. So yeah, I guess to not be melodramatic, that's infrastructure. Sure. What did I describe SlamAI as? Like a Comcast for these platforms. So yeah, you can't go wrong with solid infrastructure. And I think too, like making it decentralized. Anytime you've got a centralized entity in control of anything, like it, especially here in Web3, it gets people a bit up in arms. So yeah, decentralized infrastructure. Which by the way, Crypto Slam is a launch which I'm the founder of Crypto Slam, but SlamAI, which the launch is the full launch is coming up with this. It's not a Crypto Slam project. Like we're just one of the launch contributors, along with Animoca, Troon Technologies, All Domains, Tradeport. Like we've got like a handful of companies that we're working with, and more on the way. So even that, our piece of it, where we're bringing data to all these agents, that'll be decentralized as well. A bit more centralized in the beginning because we're bringing something pretty important to it in the beginning, but longer term, it'll be progressively more decentralized.
So I probably threw the I think I did that subconsciously. Like I did not mean to give you such an easy one, but I figured you would answer that because look, I said it earlier. I get to wear the DGen hat here too. And it's something I'm excited about. It is the infrastructure stuff, and it's one of the things. It is the thing I'm most excited about this Slam ecosystem, specifically SlamAI. It's that look. I don't think AI agents are going away, and I stand by. I think that market cap's going to be insanity. But part of that is going to be the infrastructure tokens. They're going to make up a good chunk of that market cap. But I also think on top of agents, something's going to come along. We mentioned it at the very beginning. Something is probably going to come along that shifts us again in another direction. And what that direction is, I don't know, right? It's going to involve agents, but there's probably going to be some new little spin on agents or a new tweak, and it's probably actually swarms. It's the an evolution, right?
That is it. That is it.
And to me,
Steinwald's right. It's not about being a chatbot. That was cool in late December. Like it is, yes, infrastructure, but you look at what like Virtuals is doubling down on, and what AI 16Z and the ELIZA platform. It's all about like the agent to agent communication. So don't think that there's a next thing beyond agents. Like it's still agents, but they're just going to get smarter.
And I think we'll have real products. We'll have real reasons to use those agents. They will be better, smarter, faster, and have purpose. And I think that's ultimately why SlamAI excites me. It's that wherever it goes and whatever product is out there that needs to be powered by something smart, that needs that big brain, that we should be a part of that. So that's what I'm excited about, is this next evolution where I think there's a very, very spicy tie-in to a lot of things. So I'm excited about that stuff here.
You know what's interesting, Huda? I know you've been around a while. Like we talked about like the parallel between what's going on right now and what happened in 2020 and 2021 with NFTs. Like it's similar, but it's actually the complete opposite. I know you're an art guy. I correct me if I'm wrong, but I bet you probably bought your first NFT because you thought it looked cool. Or one of your first.
One of the first for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yes, because you're into art, which is one of the fundamental use cases of NFTs. I got into it because I'm a collector. I got into it like a sports collector, sports NFTs, and MLB champions. You've heard the story. NBA Top Shot, loved all that. Like all of this utility, brought to NFTs. Hype, goes through the roof, too high. Then what happened though? Starting, like NBA Top Shot peaked late February, early March of 21. This is my take. I think others would disagree with me, but of course I think and know I'm right. Like the utility for NFTs went largely the opposite. In my head, you think of everything that So Rare did and does. In NBA Top Shot, it went the opposite. Like it was just all about, well, NFTs are this great mechanism to build community. And so it became Bored Ape, which was great, and Penguins and Kongs and everything else. So it was this great mechanism for community, but it wasn't necessarily, it got away from a lot of the things early on that made NFTs super special. Like you needed you didn't need NFTs to build community. Like, and this is what Crypto Slam lived through and what others have lived through as well. It then Web3 is great for community, but you don't necessarily even need the pictures. Why not just launch a meme coin and build a community around memes? So that's where that evolved to. So I would say it kind of devolved in a way and morphed into community building around memes. Let's not even put the pictures on it. Okay. I just bring that up. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about AI. I'm saying it's the exact opposite in AI. Like it's starting out with just complete, Steinwald called it, just the chat bots, not hardly any utility at all, but it's going to be the exact opposite. They're going to get better and better and better. Any sort of agent tied to an NFT that has any sort of traction will have more utility today than it did a month ago. Like snapshot this, go a month from now and some awesome stuff is going to be launched. Guarantee it. And it'll double again, like the month after that. Way too much going on behind the scenes.
Man, absolutely. Dude, exciting times. I don't care if you're a builder or tech, head or a nerd. I mean, it's just, there's kind of everything is all combined right here into this little agentic space. Yeah, final words, Randy. I think it's a good first episode here. Again, going forward, we'll get deeper, I think, into markets. And again, this will cook, and I think we're going to have some pretty wild stories coming soon. But thank you guys for joining us on episode number 1.
Final words, I would just say that, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hudah, excellent job as always. Yeah, I want to hang out here every once in a while. This is fun. I think it's good for me anyway. I learn a lot doing this, and there'll be less slam talk and more agentic talk going forward. So I'll be like on from time to time, but I know we also have plans for other guests from the agent ecosystem, AI ecosystem that we're going to be bringing on to the Swarm Report. Of course, we'll talk about our agent and how others can get plugged in. So really looking forward to that. Go to our Telegram group. It's called, what did we end up calling that?
What was the bullpen?
SlamAI Swarm. Yeah, and the bull's in there. Like you'll see, you'll get previews for the Swarm agent in there. Eventually, you'll be able to talk to him in there. More information coming out on that. So go there. Another good place to go is the SlamAI website. There's some allow lists you may want to sign up for. So you got that. Follow us on X. That'll be where we will make announcements that are very pertinent to bull holders and future Swarm holders. So please stay tuned on that. We'll be sure to keep you up to date. And these things are imminent. I'm not going to use the word soon.
Imminent. That's a great word. All right, yeah, there you go. Follow us at SlamX Official on YouTube. That will probably change soon, but subscribe. It'll keep you subscribed, but definitely subscribe over there. Smash the like on your way out here, fam. Also follow on X. It's SlamAI_XYZ. It's also the Swarm_AI. And then I know you guys are following this already, but anybody new, it's great to meet you. Glad you joined us here. CryptoSlam.io. You can follow us there on X. Guys, have a great evening. Thank you so much for hanging on the very first Swarm Report. We will see you.